Hey guys, welcome to the next chapter vlog. This is Art.
That's Amy.
It's Amy. And welcome. We're here today to talk about why we haven't seen many videos off the channel the last 2 weeks. And it has to do with my wife, her mom, uh, and medical issues again. Uh, as I may have mentioned in the past, about 5.5 years ago, she had a series of very severe strokes. Um, and she's been in long-term care since then. Uh, Story recently was the doctor wanted her in for a colonoscopy. We're going to go back to that, which was actually 2 weeks ago today that we're recording. She had bleeding in the stool, and they wanted to check it out. So she was transported to a hospital in Denver. And however, when she was transported, she's had the need for supplemental oxygen, and the drivers of this transport did not put her on that. So when we got her over to the hospital, and she got hooked up to get ready for the colonoscopy, she went hypoxic, which means lack of oxygen. Heart rate was very low, like in the 20s. Doctors were very concerned. In fact, there were probably, before they decided what to do, there were probably 20 doctors in this tiny little room, prep room for the colonoscopy. It was kind of weird. And they threw me out because I was not medically qualified to be in there. So they decided they're going to send her to the emergency room, and they did, and they got her stabilized. Testing involved, or testing results came back where sodium levels were too high, probably due to the colonoscopy prep. And what was the other one?
Potassium low.
Potassium levels were way too low. So she got admitted to the hospital ended up being 2 nights, night and a half, actually. So they got that stabilized. She was very alert those 2 days, probably the most alert you and I have seen her in well over a year.
Yeah.
Which usually I know from experience, when you get very alert like that, something bad is about to happen. And we ended up having that. We transported her back, this time with oxygen. We had a different transport company, I think a little better qualified to do the type of transport she needed. Back to the long-term care facility. They got her fixed back up in her room. We went home, had dinner, did shopping, all the things we couldn't do for the last few days. And then Saturday night, went to bed. Then around 10:15, I get a phone call, not from the nursing home, but from the physicians group that supports the nursing home. A lady on the phone said, "She's having seizures. We will call you if we need you." So that was my lack of sleep that evening, because once you get a phone call like that, there's no way you're going to go back to sleep. Not a chance. So we got the next morning. I hadn't heard anything, and you hadn't heard anything. Nope. Excuse me. So we went down. I went down. You didn't, did you?
No.
I can't remember.
You called me.
I called you. Went down to the nursing home, walked in her room, and she's lying on the bed. She's having seizures, like 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. I got a nurse in there. And after much discussion, it was decided to send her to the hospital. So off we go to a different hospital, one closer, and a different emergency room, and a different set of problems. Okay, she's seizing. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I called you and had you come over. And so there was significant discussion with the doctors, and they wanted to intubate her and put her into a coma to halt the seizures, and then try medically through drugs to get it under control. And I wasn't so sure I wanted to do that at that point. She has been through a lot in 5.5 years, and every time she has an event like this, she doesn't come back the same. She comes back worse. And I knew that's what was going to happen, but something said, "Don't let her go now." So had her intubated, uh, got her up to the ICU, and I'm going to post some pictures within the video of what was going on, so you can kind of take a look at what we were dealing um, with that. So she went into neuro ICU, and that was Sunday night, July 5th, and we went home. We're exhausted, no sleep now for one night. Got some sleep the next night. Then went down the next day, and basically it was, when you go in the ICU, it's a sit and wait thing. She was hooked up to everything imaginable. Um, I sat in on the meeting of rounds that the doctors go through, and it was a matter of trying to get the seizures controlled. They think they got them controlled, um, but however, they've had to add three more new medications.
God, I don't know
Yeah, I
anymore.
think that's what I heard. Yeah, she's on like three or four more things with that. So we kind of went through that. This is Monday, and I think Monday we saw palliative care, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Monday. These are the folks that you have the serious discussions with for end of life. And um, I pretty much come to the conclusion after walking with her being wheeled out of the emergency room into the ICU. I took a look at her and I said, "What the hell have I done?" It's like, I know she's not going to get better. She's probably going to be worse. And I'm not sure why he did that at that point. So we had a fairly lengthy discussion with palliative care. And the decision was kind of made, if something were to happen while she was in the hospital, we were going to let her go at that point, because she was going to be at a critical point where on Wednesday, Thursday, I think Wednesday, they removed the tube down her throat, and I was told, well, the next 12 hours we may have to put her on. Do we do it? I said no, just make her comfortable and we'll let her go. And so she slowly came out of everything, very quiet, uh, very slurred in speech, very slow in movements of the right hand, which is her only good hand. Um, so um, I had to actually feed her Thursday night, because she couldn't handle a fork, food, drink. She ate a little bit, not a lot, but enough to make things comfortable. So then Friday, was it Friday she got discharged?
Friday, yeah.
Friday, yeah. So Friday in the afternoon she got discharged, sent back to the nursing home. At that point, I had some serious questions. I got a dog here too. You can't see him. Had some serious questions on next steps, because I kind of knew I didn't want her to go through this again, and because she's been through a lot. She's never the same, and I think if she has something major medical again, it's going to be make her comfortable and let her go. I basically told the doctor the following Monday, the nurse practitioner who was there, I said, "Look, I can't do this anymore with her. We're taking the colonoscopy off the table, because if you find something, then what? If it's worst case scenario, it's a cancer. I really need her going through surgery or chemotherapy in her current state?" Monday, she was very slow in speech. Um, the nurse kind of did a cognitive test, uh, asking her the name of the dogs. One of them right here is Wesley. She couldn't name the dogs that we have currently. She could name my son's dog who passed away a few years ago. So she was able to name a dog. And so at that point, after much discussion in the nursing home, we redid the do not resuscitate form. And I was told, just if she seizes again, which she probably will at some point, because we were also told she has this thing called artifact seizures from the original stroke 5.5 years ago that occasionally show up. I haven't seen it, so it probably happens sporadically when I'm not around and nobody else is around. So we got all that signed. I'm comfortable with the decision. And I'm especially comfortable with the decision. I came to see her Wednesday. One of the nurses that take care of her made a comment, "Oh, she's so bright and alert this morning." Yeah, it was for about 5 minutes. Then she went back to her sleep mode, which has a lot to do with the medication she's on. A lot of her answers are one word answers. She wanted a Coca Cola. She's tapping the tray table saying Coke. Well, I didn't have one to give her. So I offered her in her closet, there was some ginger ale. I said, "Would you like a ginger ale?" I got no response, yes or no, or whatever. The other thing that happened was weekly, there's a lay minister that comes in and administers Catholic communion to her. And she refused it this time, which was a first. And I think it's because she doesn't remember the responses anymore from receiving communion. I think that's a lot of what it is. I think when the guy comes back in 2 weeks, I'll make sure I'm there and go from there. So that's the update right now. I mean, I think we're all family, including the family that's out of town, is comfortable with the direction we're all going to go in. I mean, I can't put her through another round of intensive medical when it's only going to get when the mood is only going to decline further. Anything you want to add that I haven't talked about?
No, you've talked about everything. You've expressed everything you've said.
Okay, yeah. She wanted to sit in, probably make sure I didn't say anything stupid.
Yeah, that too.
All right, then. So, what are your thoughts? I mean, anything, if there's one thing I can recommend to all of you out there, talk with your loved ones and have a plan in writing. I mean, Karen and I both have power of attorney and medical power of attorney on each other. Obviously, she can't fulfill it. I had mine done a few years ago. That's my medical power of attorney right there.
For both of them, if needed.
For both of them, if needed. If something should happen to me before something happens to her, she's responsible for it. So that's a lot of it. So, I mean, get things right. Because, I mean, when my wife and I did the original powers of attorney, this was back before you were born, I poo-pooed it originally. I thought, what the heck? But in hindsight, she was the smart one, and we had good choices. So, how do you guys handle all this? Let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear from you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Like, share, and subscribe, please.